Hey everybody, it's Tony the Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another reaction video. Today it is Tuesday, January 31st. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, please hit the subscribe button down below. It's down there somewhere. You know where it's at. Please hit that. And leave a like, leave a comment. Let's get this thing to 3,000. Alright, what I want to do today is react to a interview from ObesetoBeast, talking to Casey King about his time with TLC and filming the show 1,000 Pound Family. You'll probably recognize Casey once you see clips of him from the show. But I've been watching ObesetoBeast for a very long time, for several years now. And while we may not agree on everything, I totally respect his story and his journey. And he's helped encourage me to get to the point where I'm at today. But yeah, I thought this was a very interesting interview, and it's actually going to transform my channel moving forward, just the things that I've heard about TLC. And so this is called Casey King Exposes TLC, and we're going to react to it. This is a little bit longer. I'm sorry, I have been trying to create shorter videos, but this one itself is 29 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but with my own commentary in there, it's going to be fairly long. So please bear with it. I hope you enjoy it, and let's get going, starting right now.
Today's video is very special. I'm excited to bring an interview with my friend Casey King. If you don't know who that is, he was actually on the TLC show Family by the Ton. Most popularly known...
Not 1,000 Pound Family, Family by the Ton.
I would say he was the guy that he got so large that he had to bathe outside in like a trough, right? He doesn't love that people bring that up, but there were a lot of videos made about him when that was being aired. And he reached out to me recently because he had read an article talking about Tammy from 1,000 Pound Sisters and how she was up to 717 pounds. Those of you that have been following Tammy and Amy more closely know that she's currently not that weight. She's actually lost quite a bit of weight, but we are taking this...
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later as well. I found some clips of Tammy after she's lost a bunch of weight, so that might be tomorrow's video. But yeah, it's very interesting to see where Tammy is today compared to how they're sort of framing her recovery so far.
From the angle as most viewers that are watching the show are not following the sisters, so they don't know what's going on. And he had a very, it was very clear he had a very visceral reaction to this article that was shared. And I was like, he reached out and he wanted to talk about it. And as someone that there's only very few amount of people that have been in similar situations to Tammy, and Casey is one of those people, right? A TLC show talking about the fact that he has lost 400 pounds, right? He was 700 pounds plus when he was his largest, and he just really wanted to share his thoughts. Casey, thank you so much for coming on.
Wow, Chris looks amazing here. Compared to the clips they showed from the show where he was over 700 pounds, he is looking great right now, and I hope I look that good when I get all my weight off. Like, he looks amazing.
And the channel, I appreciate it. When I saw those posts that you made on Instagram, obviously I reached out because I've been following you basically since I think I made the first video. And it's been cool, like, seeing just you kind of progress and stuff, seeing how you've been able to keep the weight off, you know, get a jaw, all that stuff. It's been really interesting. And then one of the things that I think is really interesting is when you kind of share your insights into, you know, these shows that, you know, Family by the Ton or 1,000 Pound Sisters or whatever. And because again, these things are interesting to me, but I was obviously never on a show like that. I don't have any sort of that insight that you do. And I know that you kind of shared a few stories talking about the new upcoming season of 1,000 Pound Sisters. So, I mean, you just take it away, man.
Yeah, the article I had seen, someone had put it on. I wasn't even aware of it. I follow a TLC, their Instagram page, and I saw it like go by. And I was like, that can't be like a thing, right? They're 4 seasons into this show. I don't keep up with them, but she's had to have lost weight, right? No. She's the biggest she's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
She's gained weight, a substantial amount, from what I understand. And like, she's now in the worst position of her life, weight-wise and health-wise, I guess. So it's like, in my opinion, like, is this process, is this thing they're doing working? Obviously not, if you're only getting worse.
Mm-hmm. So like how do you feel about, because obviously these shows, like say your show, right, Family by the Ton,
yeah.
say if you guys hadn't lost any weight, would the show still be going on? Is one question. And then the next question in my mind is that okay, right? If the show is still going on because you guys weren't able to lose weight and it's more interesting watching the person struggle than it is to watch the person succeed, like, is that okay?
I always felt that this was a very interesting question to ask. And some of you even mentioned it in the comments. Like when I did my video about Tammy, and she was gained weight at the rehab facility. And I was really questioning, I'm like, how come the facility is allowing her to eat whatever she wants to eat? Why is she still bringing food in? Why is her family still bringing her food? Like, what is all of this about? How is she gaining weight while she's there? And some of you were like, yeah, well, the nursing home or the rehab facility, there's nothing they could actually do to stop her from bringing in extra food. They allow her to eat whatever she wants to eat. And I thought, that's ridiculous. Like, you're wasting your time there. What are you doing there? And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is this all for ratings? Because we're on season 4 now, and Tammy has done nothing but gain weight. So is being on the show sort of perpetuating her weight gain? Because if she really did lose weight, and Amy did lose weight, and Chris has lost weight, like, the show would end, right? Like, she gets more and more money every single season that comes up. And so the fact that she's getting more money and getting paid more and getting more attention and becoming more famous, she's known as the woman who is just not losing weight. She's refusing to. So what is really going on here? Is it TLC or is it Tammy?
So this is a money-making capitalistic world. Everything has a point that it has to be on. This is a thing where everyone has to get something for what they're putting out. TLC has to get views. They have to get people to watch. They have to they have to put out a product that sells to bring in whatever they need to make profit. So I get that. But then to act like, anyone that's buying into that product shouldn't be buying into like, this is good if it's inevitably not good for those people. You can support TLC, but like apparently what's going on right now in this show is only making Tammy's situation worse. And I don't.
That's exactly true. Like, Tammy has only continued to gain weight while being on the show, while trying to lose weight at the same time. So again, if they lost weight, if Tammy did lose weight and she was skinny, would they have canceled the show after 1 or 2 seasons? And now they're on season 4, and she gets paid to be Tammy, to be the outspoken chick who refuses to lose weight. Like, it's making her popular. It's making her famous. And while people keep saying, Tammy, what's going on? Maybe it's not fully Tammy. Maybe it's the show. That's an interesting point.
I know I'm pretty sure if our show if we had not lost weight, we would have had another season. Mm-hmm. We did well. Now, God, I've lost 500 pounds, 500 something pounds, and the rest of them, Amy and Amanda and Ed, have all lost weight and kept it off. There's never been one person from our show that has ever had any kind of contact with TLC about an update. The only thing they've ever asked me for is names of people that I knew that were overweight. And I think Amanda was on a couple episodes of one of the Discovery Plus shows where she played a friend to these people, and like an outside source or something.
I mean, that's very telling right there. That since his whole family and people who are on the show that's connected to him have lost all this weight, TLC has not contacted them for any kind of what are they up to today show, or there's no update show or nothing like that. They've only contacted him to see if he knows of more overweight people that they can exploit.
I think our show would have probably had another season. We would have been like the Johnson family, I think was the family on the end of our season, where we would have had an update or another chance to, lose weight. But we did well, and the popularity of the show just died. Hell, people don't even know the name of my show. Yeah. Like, they still to this day tell me, you were on 600 Pound Live, right? I'm like, no, not that.
Yeah, I got the name of the show wrong. Like, I've seen clips of it. I don't think I've seen the entire season, but I've seen Chris, and I saw, his struggles. And I had no clue that he had lost all this weight, because TLC just dropped him. They lost the weight. They have no interest in telling his story anymore. They only want to exploit you when you're fat.
Not bad. So, like, I don't think that. I mean, I have a very like realistic view. I understand why they make this show. I understand why they put out the product, but I just don't like that other people buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that it's this thing where they're like I've been given all these, like, in my opinion, garbage excuses for why, like, they've never hit us up for an update. People will, you know, I've been told, you're not as entertaining, you're not as funny. I think personally, I'm one of the funniest people in this world. Like, I'm not a comedian, but like, I think I'm very entertaining. I think I have a great personality. I think that these people are on a show where they are in setup situations and scenarios, because that's what the show does, because I've been in it, that are entertaining, and they know that these people will react if we put them in this situation. So let's do that continuously, and people will keep watching.
That's why I don't want to react to my 600-pound life anymore. I think I'm drawing a line in the sand. I know many of you are going to be disappointed in that. But I have no right sitting here judging somebody's situation when this isn't a full life representation of who they are. They're not continuing to gain weight because they're struggling their own battle. They're doing it because they're in setup situations that TLC has placed in them, and you're going to see more. Like, you're going to be outraged by what you hear, and it's absolutely disgusting. The people on these shows are being hurt further. They're being encouraged to continue to eat. They're being encouraged to put themselves in embarrassing situations for ratings. And then I'm going to do these reactions and judge these people and say, hey, you need to try harder, when they're being forced sort of to be put in these situations by TLC. Like, I'm sorry, I know most of my subs have come from my 600-pound life reactions. But I don't think I want to do them anymore because they're not real. They're not real life situations. I want to talk about real stories. I want to talk about real struggles, real people battling things. Not set up situations to gain more views and clicks and stuff like that.
TLC and the producers will hand them reasons to read to you to make you feel sympathetic for them not getting the surgery.
That's exactly right. So Tammy had every opportunity to get surgery. They were willing to pay for it. So all these excuses and everything that showed up on the show for why she wasn't getting surgery, why she was denied surgery, and this and that, like, I don't think that any of those were real. Like, they were completely made up to perpetuate Tammy's story, to make her seem like a hopeless case, so that people will keep tuning in and feeling sympathy for her and getting angry at her and blaming her for having a lack of willpower, when the entire time they were willing to pay for her surgery.
It is paid for, whether you have insurance or not. It's a gift. You literally just say yes or no. She said no.
Yeah, Tammy said no. So again, that part of that is on Tammy, right? The entire premise of the show was her trying to get weight loss surgery. Yet the entire time she's been saying no to weight loss surgery. So she was on the show for ratings. She exploited the show as much as the show exploited her. So the entire storyline of Tammy is 100% false. I know there's probably some truths in there, but the entire thing was for ratings. Her failing, her gaining weight, it was all for ratings. She did it for the show, and the show perpetuated that. So they took it from each other.
It's definitely been interesting, like, obviously kind of doing like reviews of the show and kind of sharing my thoughts and seeing the difference between the sisters, right? And I do think that that's why the show...
And that makes me think about Dr.now's strict diet plan. Was it created to sort of perpetuate even bigger failures? Because who's really going to lose 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 100 pounds in a month or two without really dealing with the emotional aspect of why you're overeating and the trauma you went through and stuff like that? Like, they barely touch on that. So then Dr.now gives them this almost impossible diet to, stick with. Some people have. I'm not saying it's completely out of touch with reality, but it's a very, very difficult line to get there. And so yeah, that's what the show has done. Like, they created this tough line so that people are going to fail. They're not just going to jump right in. They're going to do great, and it's just going to be a success from the start of the show to the end of the episode. That's not what's going to happen. There's going to be failures. There's going to be struggles and fighting with it, and they're going to go back and get on the scale, and they gain weight, and Dr.now yells at them and everything else. It's like, how much of that is scripted for views and clicks and likes?
Show is still around. Like, I truly do believe, like, kind of to your point, that say if they had both lost the weight at the start, the show wouldn't be around, which is really sad because, like, it's clear that they enjoy the attention, right? Which, especially like coming from people that, I mean, they were YouTubers before, so it was like something that they were searching for to an extent, right? And the fact that this show is so popular, and I think at this point now, if the weight doesn't come off, and it's been said that Tammy actually has started losing quite a bit of weight and got the surgery or whatever. Yeah. And so I do think that at some point it had to happen, but it's just sad that, like, it almost feels like it was like set up for her to not get the surgery, to kind of not to be the, like, one sister's doing well, one sister's not doing well, and that'll be good TV, right?
Yeah, and now what I'm seeing from the show, Tammy, they're trying to make it out to look like Tammy is failing again for more ratings. They put that article out there that she is the heaviest she's ever been. When in reality, and I saw her TikTok today, and I might do a reaction on that here soon, where Tammy has lost a ton of weight, and she's not allowed to talk about it because she's under contract not to talk about her weight loss. So she's looking really, really good. She's lost a ton of weight, but they're still perpetuating this lie up here that Tammy's still struggling, that she's at the highest she's ever been. And so, by doing that, they're convincing you that she's failing. And now what the show is starting to show a reversal where Tammy is getting her life straight and Amy is starting to struggle because she's pregnant again with baby number 2 and she's eating a lot and she's gaining a lot of her weight back. So how much of this is attention for the two of them? Like, they're lying to us, TLC is lying, and this is not a documentary series of reality. This is all completely made up and set up situations.
So I can't speak for every single obese person there ever was. Mm-hmm. I can tell you only my personal, like, thoughts, opinions, wants and needs, whatever. I have always wanted to fit in. I've always wanted to be accepted, wanted, liked, and appreciated. I think that at its core, every single person that has a thing that makes them stick out wants those same things to some level. Maybe not, there are obese people that want to just sit in their house all day and just eat, but, like, they probably would like some social interactions. They probably would like friends. There are people that escape into the gaming world. That's what I did. There's everyone wants to fit in. These people were given a platform and they were loved. Like, Tammy and Amy, immediately after their first season, were very much liked because it was like they were characters that did not even get along with really one another, even though they had this obesity thing that bonded them. Once they begin to get a taste of, like, I don't want to say fame because it's like a toxic fame, but like fame, popularity, acceptance, and people wanting them, there's no going back. The only thing that changed for Amy was that once she got the surgery and lost weight, she got some male attention, and then she was like, I'm going to keep doing this. She's married with a kid now. So, like, her life has progressed.
How much are they really going to want to change, though, now that they got all this attention and they're making money from the show? Like, they don't want that to end. Right? So they're going to continue eating like crap so that, there's a season 5 and a season 6, and they keep gaining weight and struggling and fighting with it. Like, they could have lost weight in season 1, but if they did, the show would have been canceled.
Tammy probably just also fearing. Now I left this out. There's two things I want to put out there that I understand. being so big and having the fear of the surgery is a real thing. So I'm not at all like, I don't want people to think I'm shaming Tammy for saying no. And also just not like wanting to leave that lifestyle for the fear of stepping out of the boundary of the lifestyle that you're comfortable with. Like if she's just been comfortable in this situation, there was something in my head that clicked and I was like, I have to change for this reason to accomplish this goal. And it was being a good uncle to my nephew. She may not have that thing that clicked in her head, and she may be like, I'm comfortable with this. I'm now liked and wanted and popular in this lifestyle because of the show. Why would I want to change?
Exactly. Why does she want to change now? Now that she's lost, I mean, now that she got all this popularity and fame and money from it.
Thing wasn't real. But like, anyone that watches the TLC network and is like, this is a documentary is just dumb.
I've been had. I thought it was a documentary. I thought there was cameras going and watching them live their lives. And even all the private moments that I thought were disgusting of them being in the shower and stuff like that, I thought that was all real. Like we're getting every perspective, every point of view from these people's lives. We're seeing their struggles, we're seeing their failures, we're seeing them, finally get it together. And many of them did lose the weight. Some of them gained it back, some like Stephen Asante. But that like takes a different spin on Stephen Asante, right? Like he is the ultimate showman. His whole character might be even similar to that of Nikocado Avocado, where he's just playing a part. That's not really Stephen. Stephen is playing a part. He's getting all this attention, all this money, all this fame, all this glory. Even though we are disgusted by Stephen and we're disgusted by Nikocado, they're playing a part in a character because they're getting paid a lot of money to play that part. And so that just shows the danger of what TLC is doing, because they're allowing these people to perpetuate their bad behavior to create these ultimate characters, just like Tammy is a character. That might be a lot of Tammy's personality in real life, but we can't stand Tammy at times, right? Because of her bad behavior and the way she yells at people and yells at her family and stuff like that. Like Tammy, Stephen Asante, Nikocado, like they're all characters that had their own platform, had their own show, got famous, and is making a lot of money from it. How much of it is real? So yeah, I was absolutely had. Up until now, I thought it was a real show that showed a real struggle with people trying to lose weight. And that's why I reacted to it, because I'm like, wow, this is a good representation of people's struggles. But it was all set up nonsense. That's why I don't want to do it anymore. Not only do they keep blocking my my videos, even though I have a legal right to do reaction videos of my 600-pound life, like they don't want me doing reaction videos because it's all fake. It's all nonsense.
Like,
Dude,
I don't mean.
The thing is that I'm telling you right now, people, they just believe what they see. And so
It blows it makes me, honestly, I don't know what I just did. It makes me sad. I pulled down a whole drop screen on my phone. But like, I try to tell them, I'm like, you're not watching a documentary on, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. You're watching a dramatic reenactment of someone's life. Like, there are so many things that they filmed for the show that were never used. They had me eating a bowl of Cheetos out of a cake mixing bowl, and I'm just eating Cheeto after Cheeto after Cheeto for literally 30 minutes. And I tell them, hey guys, I'm going to throw up. And they're like, okay, we just want you to keep grabbing different Cheetos. Oh, that was the phone, great. They're like, we just want you to grab a different Cheeto and move it to your mouth over and over. And I was like,
that's absolutely disgusting. See, I would have seen that on the show, and I would have been like, Casey, man, like you need to get yourself under control here. But it's not Casey. It's not a representation of Casey's eating habits. They told him to do that for ratings, so that people would think he's just a Cheeto addict and he can't stop eating. Well, obviously he was over 700 pounds, so he had some sort of food problem. But to give him a huge cake bowl full of Cheetos and tell him to keep eating it for over 30 minutes, just keep eating the Cheetos, keep eating it, keep eating it. And many of them he wasn't eating, he was just bringing a different Cheeto to his mouth. It's like, that's 100% fake. So how many of these other episodes have I done where someone is just eating like crazy, but they were told to eat like that? I mean, we often wonder, wow, how do they afford this much food? Like, how are they buying that much food and ordering out and just gobs and gobs of food? It's like the show is probably giving it to them, telling them, hey, here's all this pizza, here's all this Chinese food. I want you to eat it all. Just keep eating. All for ratings. It's not real.
I can do that. Fake like you're chewing. I was like, okay, that's not hard. But like, it's just not reality. It's like it's a hyper situational, hyper exaggerate. Like we are fat, but like they don't come to your show, come to your house and be like, we're going to naturally film you. No, because that would be very boring.
Yeah.
They put you set up scenarios and situations to reenact things in your life. Like,
so in that same way, they're setting them up for failure so that they can fail, they can lose, they can struggle. All for ratings, because it adds a little drama to the story. So every time they go and step on the scale and they gain weight, how much of that is TLC? Like, hey, we want you to continue eating like crap so that when you go back to Dr.now or when you go back to that scale, it's going to be up. Because if every single person did well and lost weight, there'd be no drama. There'd be no entire hour of show. It would be over in like 10 minutes.
The bathing thing, I was already out of that situation, but they knew that I had gone through that, so they reenacted that. Like,
and that's another thing too. Like, he has to watch himself being bathed in this like feeding trough or whatever it was forever now. And he's very, very embarrassed by that. But that was something that was also reenacted. That didn't happen live. He was not doing that currently. That was something that happened, and they heard about it a long time ago. So they brought it back for dramatic purposes for the show.
My favorite thing is just the angles that they'll film. They'll film you from like your freaking like, you know, your taint area up, like.
Oh God. That there is a like when I, because like I'll, you know, I work with people and they'll be like, yo, I Googled you, and I'm like, yeah, and like I know the images that pop up. They use this lens, this concave
it's like a fisheye lens.
Yes, and it just fixated on my stomach and just this girthy area, and everything around me is, it looks like my stomach is 10 miles in front of me. Like, it is, their angles are atrocious. But I get it, because they're selling
the thing is, like, it's, this might sound mean, but it's like they're selling, it's a sideshow. That's what they're selling, right? They're like, look at how,
yeah, they're framing obese people as a freak show, as a sideshow. They're not showing the reality behind it. They're not showing the real person, the real struggle. It's a sideshow to them. And they're feeding them and perpetuating their fatness and even getting them to the point of risking their life. Like, I don't know how much of Tammy's coma was real, whether or not she really, at the end of season 3, went into a coma and almost died and then showed up with a trach. Like, was that real? If it was real, then TLC helped perpetuate that in order for her to get to that point where she almost died. It's like, this is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. TLC needs to be exposed, like, big time. All right, I'm going to stop right here, guys. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. It's very scary to me and disgusting. And it's really frustrating me that TLC would do this. Maybe because I was the one who was suckered into thinking that this is real life drama, that these are real people's lives, that it really is a documentary of what they're going through, when in reality, TLC is perpetuating lies, trying to tell fake stories. And really, a lot of these people are on the brink already. They're very close to death because of their size. Many of them are rushed to the hospital, and many have even died. And yet, TLC sort of had a hand in that. By telling them, okay, you need to eat this thing full of Cheetos, you need to eat this food, you need to gain weight this month so that, you know, we can continue telling this dramatic story. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting to me. But if you're here for the Sideshow because you think I'm some fat guy and you want to see me fail or something like that, then I don't want you to watch anymore, because that's not going to be me. I'm not trying to create drama for clicks and views. I want to tell real stories. You know, that's what I want. Like, there's a real dark side to obesity that we need to address. So I'm still going to react to Michelle. I'm still going to talk about the fat positivity movement and stuff like that. But I'm just not going to do any more of my 600-pound life reactions. And I know that's going to disappoint some of you because you love these clips. But I'm not interested in doing that anymore. Like, I want to tell real stories. And my story is a real story. And I think I need to be more creative with my channel instead of just doing reactions all the time. Like, that's kind of lazy sometimes because the content's already been created. I just react to it. Like, I want to create better content. And so, I don't know. That's what I'm going to be thinking about, how to do that here in the near future. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I greatly appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. God bless you guys.